Okay, what's up, guys? Tyler Cameron's here. I'm here. And I guess we're going to talk about what really happened in quarantine. But everybody thought we in love.
Yeah.
And we actually gave each other
We
side hugs.
actually wanted to kill each other at this point.
I guess, should we just start from the beginning? How did that even happen?
So when my mom passed or whatever, I was I was just like sitting there with my mom in the room, and I was like, it was kind of crazy how this all happened. I was sitting there with my mom looking in the room, and I was like thinking about this past year because it's been a whirlwind, and then I was like thinking about Hannah. I was like, my mom was obsessed with Hannah, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with her? Why was she so upset? Like obsessed with this girl? Like what? Why? And then literally Hannah's name pops up on my phone, and she's like, oh my God, I just heard the news, blah, blah, blah. And then so like, I was like, right there, I was like, let's just bury the hatchet. We haven't really talked in months probably.
Yeah.
And we buried the hatchet. I was like, let's talk tonight. And then we talked for like 3 hours that night. And it was like nice. It was like nice to talk to someone different and like open about what's going on or whatever. And she's good at like being a support system.
So we weren't talking kind of after everything that happened, I guess that July. Me and Miss Andrea talked at least once a week over Instagram. And so it was like the last time we had talked was on a Monday, and then what I saw was actually your post about you were missing something. It was a workout week because I was doing stuff. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So I went and checked because your mom was always on Instagram and we were always talking. So I was like, okay, this is weird. And I remember being like, should I message you? I don't know.
You got hair in my mouth?
Yeah, sorry.
Keep going.
And yeah, I did. And that's when we started talking. And then the next day, my brother had an overdose. And we had just had like a really good conversation. I think we were
kind of leaning on each other now at this point. Like we were both going through things. So we kind of were like each other's support system all of a sudden. Because like, you of course have your family there, but it's always nice to have someone outside to lean on as well.
That knows you in a different way. Yeah. But I think there was also like a problem in that a little bit of like, we came together in trauma.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got like really close, I think, like emotionally in that.
Yeah.
I went back home right after. My brother was okay, but it was really scary, and he went to rehab, and I think I wanted to get away from my own trauma, so I say that I traded Tyler's trauma for mine, but I also wanted to be there for you.
So then you asked like, I wanted to come, but like, I don't want this to be about me. I was like, no, if you feel like you want to come. I didn't want to force you to do anything.
To the funeral.
And she wanted to come, and so she came. It was very sweet, and like all like my mom's best friends were like, that's such a great gesture by her, like so sweet, so nice. And like Hannah was low key about the whole thing, it wasn't about her at all. It was about just being there and hanging out, even just kind of like, even when I was with like all my friends afterwards, it was like you were there, like kind of like, like taking all of us in.
Yeah, it was hard. But
you were cool because like, I mean, it was like when everyone happened, like I was able to like come over there like, hey, how are you, and like kind of like get out of the mix and like hang with you. So that was cool. And then
everybody was really nice too.
Yeah, and then we had a cool weekend together.
That was good. I feel like that was good.
It was a good weekend, and like and it was like kind of like a refresher. And so you left that Tuesday, I think, and I remember I had to go to New York. Mm-hmm. And then I came home.
We left the same day.
Yeah. And I came back home from New York because my agent was like, get out of New York City. Like this is, this quarantine's about to happen. So when I came home, I was like hanging out with like one of my best friends, Molly and Katie and all them. And we were all having wine and drinking and probably drinking too much. And I was like, look, I had a great weekend with her. I was like, should I like invite her back? And Molly was like, look, you guys are both gonna have a lot of time off right now. Or like we thought like the quarantine was gonna be like a week. You know what I mean?
Yes, we didn't know what quarantine meant.
Yeah. So like we thought it was gonna be like a few days. You know what I mean? Of like lockdown. And
it was like 2 weeks at that point. That was like the max they were talking about quarantine being.
And so she like saw, I was like, she's like, Mom was like, you're never gonna have this time off, either of you. Why don't you guys hang out and see what it is, And I was like, cool. I was like, but my biggest fear was like, come over, see what it was, and like, but like I didn't want to do something because I was like, you know, in a bad place or vulnerable. So like I made a rule. I was like, I'm not hooking up, not doing nothing, because I don't want you to go away and us do something, and then like you go away and I go away, and then it's like we were like, oh wait, I don't feel that, and then we're like upset again at each other. Which anyways, we got upset at each other anyway. So that happened, and then so I invited her down. She came. As soon as I said, would you want to come down? She didn't even wait 30 seconds to reply. Yes, I'll be there right now, blah, blah, blah. I'm just kidding.
My turn. Yeah, I feel like the first time that I went there, it went really good, but it was still like filling each other out. Like it was hard because we hadn't seen each other, and the first time I see him, it's like a way that you would never really want to see anybody, or like terrible circumstances, but I feel like we still like had a good time.
Yeah, you were able to bring light to a very dark time, and we like it was needed.
Yeah, and then I got home and then had to like face my reality, and I wanted to leave because everybody was still just really upset, and so I was like, you know what, sure, and I wanted to see you again. Yeah. I feel like it was like, yeah, to be honest, I did. And then I got there. I think,
well, we got there, and then as soon as because when I picked you up to come to the funeral, like no one really knew. Like
it was that. Yeah.
And then as soon as I came and picked you up, like the second time, it was everywhere. It was a circus. I mean, people were literally driving down our street, taking pictures of us, like, you know, like fans, paparazzis, all that. It was just like
and making these stories that were not true.
Turned what we were doing into a super, like a pressure cooker situation. Like we were just like under pressure the whole time. And some of it is our fault because we did kind of play into it. We were having fun with it.
But I remember I didn't have a TikTok yet, but everybody was like talking about the TikTok, and well, then I became part of the quarantine crew, I guess, and the thing blew up, and then I got my own TikTok, and then it just became about that. Mm-hmm. And I think even though that was fun, I think for us, it was always like, oh, what are they, like, it's just pressure.
At this point, like I told everyone, I was like, look, use me, like all my friends around us that were hanging out, I was like, use me for anything, like film funny shit, like post it up on your stories. Like Matt was over here filming us, like I'm trying to, like she's trying to make the bed, she's trying to tell me to change my sheets, I'm trying to tell her like, no, it's fine. And Matt's over here out of nowhere with the spy cam out, you know what I mean? Next thing I know, it's on TikTok, and then I'm like, oh, see, like they're perfect, they're fighting over their blankets. There was a house full of 8 people, so there was no privacy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think the no privacy, like the pressures of everyone saying this is a relationship, but really we were just trying to work on a friendship, you know?
People think we were hooking up the whole time.
18 days in the same bed.
Never kissed.
Well, you kept farting.
You did.
Yeah, I was in a her place.
I was too.
You're in a her place. And we have like I said, a tough past. Like, you know, like we've gone through a lot together, and this is our first time ever really hanging out. And like, I just wanted to like work on it being a friendship, you know? And so then if we stepped away and got away from each other and we wanted more, we could always go get more. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
With our past being what it was, I think both of us, you know, came in there with mixed emotions and mixed feelings about what this was going to be.
I think it was really hard for me and him just being like, let's just chill. Let's just, you always say, figure it out. And I'm like, what are we figuring out? And I hated, like, figuring it out. What does that mean? The part of it that was really frustrating and hard for me is at this point now, COVID and this pandemic is real, and now I'm kind of like stuck. And I was talking to like people on my team, and it was like, you don't need to get on a plane right now. And then like driving is like, it was like 13 hours back, and I have narcolepsy, so I can't really drive by myself. So I'm like, okay, like I don't know what to do right now. And I just don't need to be traveling at this point because we don't know what's happening. So I'm there, I'm at my ex's house with all of his friends. And so I'm like, I didn't know where I fit. And I think I did a good job of like trying to be okay with the situation that I was in. But for me, like I was internally freaking out. And
she didn't poop for like weeks.
I could not go to the bathroom, like trying to be okay with everything.
We would send her to my aunt's house, trying to go to the bathroom, like an empty house. Like we would like let her have her piece.
But at the same time, I'm still hanging out with your aunt. Like, I was just like completely immersed in this thing, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to fit into this. There's lots of emotions. It was like, I wanted to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about it.
We talked about it.
No, okay.
We talked about it, and then it started becoming like almost every conversation.
No, it did not.
Well, what felt like every serious conversation, and I was like, look, I don't want to talk about this stuff. I just want to say that's why I said let's figure it out and try to work on being friends.
Okay. Oh,
Right?
it's getting heated for me. I'm pretty sure there was days we barely talked to each other.
There was days where I was like, I had to be on the other side of the house the whole time, and it's not a big house, so there wasn't much places to hide.
It was just hard because there was just a lot of miscommunication where like he would think I was trying to have a serious conversation when I just wanted to talk about football, and then we would have a great conversation, but like, that was nice, and I'm like, that's all I've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
But then I'd be like, what the F is going on? Because he'd be running sprints for no reason. And I'm like, what's the problem? So, of course, I want to have a conversation about it.
Towards the end of it got to the point where we both needed to go our separate directions.
Like, I was ready.
We went from a dating show where it didn't work out, and then
not talking
to each other. Drama happens. Hang out.
Living together.
To living together. 12 times more the amount of time in that house together for those 18 days than we did on the show.
Yeah.
So we saw. I mean, we were both like in an unhealthy situation, like with our lives at that point.
I know I was like the worst version of myself.
And I would say I was probably right there with you.
But people think that this is us like dating and being together and like it being everybody's dream come true, and we're like not talking to each other.
Yeah. The problem I have is like when people put pressure on me, like push me into things, I step away.
Yeah.
And so like. I just felt like there was so much pressure on everything that we were doing. We were in a pressure cooker, which was like the worst place for me to be, especially in that time. I kept saying we'll figure it out, but there was nothing to figure out. You know what I mean? I felt like it was just like one thing we needed to figure out was like us, like hanging, having fun. But we were both not in the right place
to have fun.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah. I had tried multiple times to find other places to stay.
Oh yeah, you actually like moved out for a couple of days.
You when it got really bad.
And then you're like, but then you call back like, I can't do this no more. I gotta come back to the house.
Please let me back. Let me back. I promise I won't talk to you, okay? We won't talk. We don't have to talk, but just let me back. Finally found a guy that was from my hometown that was in Jupiter. He ended up being like, yes, I can leave, and got a rental car. By that point, like, I was just so, I don't think I was very nice that day. You were definitely not nice that day.
Yeah, I don't think we spoke that day.
The day that I left, like, didn't speak. I will say.
So I dropped my YouTube. I knew I was going to hear from Hannah. I was curious how I was going to hear from her. And but you were a good sport. I
was pretty pissed about the YouTube clip of me. I was like, I'm going to make a joke about it. And I think this is like a good time to like reach back out because I'm feeling a lot better. You know, getting myself like a community and feeling just mental health in a good spot. And so I reached out to him, and he was so cold to me.
I was very cold.
But I was very nice.
She was. I was very cold because I was still at that point like, you rock with me, you don't.
I remember getting off the phone, and I was like, all right, well, like, that was kind of what I needed to know, but I'm still going to be cool. I felt really good about it, actually, because I was like, I understand that he's upset, but at the same time, like, I'm okay. So then I was like, I'm going to try one more time.
She kept trying.
I did. I was like, I said something about, because you did one YouTube that I really liked.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it was the Keys one or something like that.
Yeah, and I could just tell that he like was having a good time, and I was like, it was really fun to watch. So I messaged him again, and I'm like, I'm going to be a good person, because normally I would be like, F that guy until if he reached out, I'd probably be nice again. Okay. Then I reached out again, and then you were okay.
Yeah.
A little cold, but like a little bit.
I was like, you know what? I was like, why be cold when you can be cool? That was pretty good, huh? So why be cold when you can be cool? And so then we started hashing it out. We started talking, and then like, I would say every call since then has been a healthy, better, gradual call.
Yes. And yeah, I guess that's where we're at. I think it's just trying to be cool, being friends.
Yeah. And I just, I think everything we've been through, all the stuff we've done, like, we care about each other, we're there for each other, and like I think it's like I'm super stoked where we're at right now because like we're able to sit here, have fun with each other. Like this has been the best, like not this conversation, but conversations we've had lately, and like been the best conversations we've had, and so it's like nice. Like oh, there's Hannah Brown.
There's no pressure. You know what I mean? It feels like it's like more in terms of like, yeah, I think it's been good. So this is the real story, and not the ones on TikTok or Instagram or Matt's stories.
Yeah, Matt was literally recording Hannah like what she had for breakfast. He's like, I'm putting that on TikTok. That's gonna hit. You know?
It did.
But no, it was we've been through a lot, and I think a lot of those problems that we've dealt with was like dealing with the outside pressures and like.
And they're not saying anything.
And they're not saying anything.
Feels kind of good to say it, doesn't it?
And like now, I think we communicate a lot better. We've been through hell, and with each other.
And in our just in our lives.
In our lives.
This year.
Yeah, and so like we've been able to really get past a lot of things, and I think we're in a great place right now.
Yeah, me too. So there's the tea.
There's the tea. She said she was gonna spill the tea.
That was pretty good.
But you had a cup that said boys' tears, and you got none of mine. This one.
Just wait. So now you know all the know. So we're still gonna have some fun. We're gonna hang out. We are. And we got a mukbang.
We got a mukbang. Our first mukbang together. What do you say? Go to my channel.
You'll just have to watch the channel.
It's on my channel.
Oh, and subscribe to mine.
Yeah.
And you can subscribe.
You're gonna tell the bees to subscribe to me?
The bees should be fine
You think
now.
the bees are gonna like me now?
Yeah. Right. I feel the beehive. Be nice to him, okay? Okay. All right.
And you guys be nice to her. See, we like each other.
Yeah, we're good. You know.
See? Goodbye, folks.
All right. Bye.